Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Yes, I went to Long McQuaid today. Portable Grand Yamaha DGX 660B. B stands for black. W would be white, and they do make this thing in white. I've been jonesing for this keyboard since I first saw it. I've also been jonesing for a good keyboard, period. And I've had a lot of keyboards over the years, if you check out my YouTube channel. And nothing that was ever actually considered to be, I guess, high-end, right? You know? I mean, this isn't top of the line or anything. But it is certainly a very good quality one. And it was $9.99 plus tax, of course, you know, so $1,000. It's not bad. And there are more expensive ones out there, that's for sure. I was even looking at one of their synth keyboards and for a few bucks more, but then it didn't have to offer what I really want and require. So I've been pretty serious about piano ever since I was a kid. I've always played on pianos, always fascinated by them, have no flipping clue why. It's kind of like guitar, you know. I mean, I'm a guitar player and have been my whole life. And I can't even tell you what actually first interested me in guitar, because I don't have any guitar heroes or, you know, that sort of thing. But anyhow, so we're going to get to be about so far here, and then I'll have to go off camera and put this thing together. Because, yeah, she's a beast. So that's about as far as we get for now. I'll get this out of here, and it's going to take me a while to assemble the stand for it. Now, it does apparently come with a power supply, a cheap sustain pedal. At least you get one. This one can actually use the rack with the 3 pedals on it too, which I'm going to get later on down the road. Because number one, I'll have my sustain pedal on the far right, but which will be part of that rack, so I won't need the small one. But it's going to allow me the other 2 pedals that are for other purposes on a normal piano, which work fine on this, but they're also assignable pedals, so I don't have to use them for that. I can assign them for other features of the keyboard, which is what I'm looking forward to, because that's actually what I want that piece for. And that's like about another $120 purchase, I think it was, $120. So that'll be later on. But for now, this will be instant for you guys, but I'm going to be busy for the next little bit assembling, so don't go away. Instant. Alright guys, well, I told you it was instant for you guys. Roughly about 20-25 minutes altogether to assemble the stand and bolt the keyboard down in place. The keyboard actually does bolt to the stand. Now, they kind of market this as being a portable keyboard. It's not as portable as you think. But, hey, you know, it's a keyboard and it's smaller than some, I guess. So, we do get a rather thick manual for this thing. In, what do we got here? We got English, French, and Española, Spanish. So, each section really isn't all that thick, but, you know. Little goodies for the power supply, online member product registration. I've got to remember to do that yet. The data list. This covers all of the sounds in the piano, just in the main piano voices. What do we got here? 554. Plus we've got, you know, a couple hundred different beats, different styles or songs built in, harmony type list, effect list, drum kits, all kinds of stuff in this thing. It's well laid out with a lot of goodies. We also get, of course, the everything you need to make music on your instrument. Play, expand, learn, connect, blah blah blah. You can actually hook your iPad into this thing, which is kind of cool. I will be doing that. I have a spare iPad for that purpose. Special notice for end users and dealers, auto power off function guide. You can also set that up too. So I'm just going to go through a couple of different tones on this thing. Just because I'm not all that familiar with it. I've been messing around with this thing a lot in the store. They had one up on display, and it's kind of like, well, you know, and this is kind of what got me more and more interested. I really do like the weighted keys. They are really nice. You do have a pitch bender control as well. Of course, drum beats, and the sound quality is really good. I've got the volume at about 3/4 the way up. This is only about 6 watts a channel. Some people would consider that to be 12 watts. And in realistic terms, it's still only 6 watts. You get 6 watts out of this, 6 watts out of that. Some people say, well, that's a total of 12 watts. Actually, it's not. It's a total of 6 watts, period. You know, you would need actually 12 watts per side to have 12 watts. So anyways, that's a whole other video on talking about that sort of stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to just play around a little bit on this thing. I'm not a big-time piano player. I know a bunch of chords and stuff like that, but it's still a matter of putting things together. I do have books. I've been teaching myself on and off over the years as I've had a number of different keyboards, like I said. But I've been after something that has the USB function for recording with direct. This way I can do my vocal stuff, my guitar stuff. I have an electronic drum kit. I'm learning to play drums. So I can add all these in separate tracks, and then I can record my piano track by listening back to what I've already got set up on the computer for the other stuff, and then play along with it, record it to here, take it out of here, put it into my final track at the end, do my mix down, and voila, we got a complete tune, one-man band kind of deal. Or if I want to have friends over, you know, I can do guitar, or I can do the drums, somebody can do a guitar, whatever. There's choices here. So we have drums in here, we have keyboards in here, we have guitars in here, etc., etc. And I'm vastly running out of space. I have just enough room left over for me and my students when I have one student at a time, because that's all I've got room for anyways, is one student at a time in here. This was going to go into my closet in place of where my laptop is, but then I started to think it's heavy keyboard, you know, and it's hard to maneuver this thing as it is. And it's kind of like, well, I have to build the stand inside there and everything, and yeah, and what happens if I do run out of space here, because I know I'm going to have a bit of an issue there, but what happens if? Because one thing I didn't think about either was the fact of the music stand has to be in here too, and that brings the keyboard out more this way, which is fine. I could still shut the doors, but then I'm closer to the doors, which means I may or may not have full access to the far left and far right. So I figured, well, we're just going to leave it out here, and we're going to have to deal with it. That's all there is to it. Anyways, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's start at the default. Start over. I'm holding the sustain pedal down for all that, but without the sustain pedal, it cuts it off too quick. I like having the sustain on there. So anyways, footsteps, heartbeat. This is called punch. Some of the sounds are really good, but some of them kind of, yeah, you know. I like that one. Submarine, roller coaster. First, jet plane. That's a pretty good one. Car passing. Tire squeal. Wind chimes. Like I said, some of them sound really good, some of them are scratch split. Telephone ringing. Car starting and running. Let's go back a bit. This is called a shamson. Got pitchant. Yeah. Some of these I have absolutely no use for. It's supposed to be a banjo. I guess if you know how to play banjo, you're okay. Sitar. Detuned sitar. Glisten. This is called To Heaven. Creeper. And if you hit the sustain pedal just right to back a lot of it off and then back on it again, it'll keep holding. But yeah, there's like boatloads of stuff here. Hand flute. Regular flute. Doesn't sound quite like a regular flute would. There are clarinet, saxophones in here, synth brass. So that's kind of a cool one. Synth brass 1. So there's tons of them in here, and you can just use the number pad to go right back. Let's say you're on 525. It's a horse. Okay. I think there's a one-touch function here somewhere to get back to the regular piano. Nope. Natural grand. 000. So if you go 001, which is the default natural brand. Of course, you got drum beats. And let's see, where do we get our, there's our styles there. So under style is our beats. Up tempo 8-beat, chart piano pop, Brit pop rock, acoustic rock, classic 8. So there's a lot of good beats in here. Like there's tons of them. UK pop, garage, club dance, where is it? Club dance. Club Latin, techno polis, dream dance, Euro trance. And of course, with any of these, you can actually change the tempo as well. You can transpose with this thing up and down, right? So you've got that ability too. You can do onboard recording, or you can record straight to your device. It's kind of like your choice in that sense. Anyways, there will be more on this piano as I learn more and more about it. This is just like a basic unbox, give it a little test. We're not doing a review at this point. Although I can tell you right now that yes, it's definitely worth $1,000. Okay, of course Canadian dollars. As far as how many sounds are actually true to themselves, we'll do that in the review. And of course, we'll just go through more and more on this. I'll give you a close-up of the screen at that point, tell you more and more about this thing. Like I said, I got to learn more about it, so probably, I don't know, maybe a week or two, somewhere around there, I should be able to give you my full opinion on it. Like I said, I've been dancing around with the idea of getting this for well over a year now. If I remember correctly, this thing came out about 3 years ago. Originally, I've seen it in the Long and McQuaid store for a little over a year of one being on display, and messing around with it off and on. And I've messed around with other pianos. I've bought a number of pianos from them, keyboards and stuff, which you've seen on my channel. I had the EW 400. I've had one of the 300 series, 400, another 400 series, one that was here that my wife had rented, which is actually identical to the EW 400, but a few less keys. This has a full 88 key keyboard, which was something else that I wanted. If I'm going to spend, more than $500, I want 88 keys. That's a big thing. I want a full-size keyboard. I didn't want something that was just limited to piano and maybe electric piano and a couple cheesy sounds for different instruments. I like the idea of having the combo piano synth combined. That's something that to me was important for the sort of stuff that I want to do. That sort of thing. I wanted a quality sound. Now this thing is pretty loud for, being 6 watts a slide. And I did watch a few reviews on this thing. Some people like the graduated hammer keys. Some people don't. It's kind of a preference thing. It's pretty darn close for weighting compared to a real acoustic piano. It's really close to that. You're not going to get exact. This is an electronic device. It's not a acoustic system. But I can say this too, the piano, just without messing with lid heights up and down to change the sound and the room size via the electronics, Just the way it sits, the piano sound to me is really, really excellent. It's better than any other keyboard I've owned yet to date. You know, so that's actually very encouraging there, that it's more authentic, because that's one thing you want to listen to when you're checking out keyboards, is how authentic is this to a real piano, you know, for that piano sound. You know, like, forget all the other ones. They're just all toys and bells and whistles and additions, right? But it's, if you're after that, an actual authentic sound, this is really cutting very, very close to being very authentic. So, anyways, other than that, that's about all I got for you guys today on this beaster. I'm going to spend probably off and on during the day messing around with it some more. I want to get it hooked into my mixer as well, so I can do some recording out with it. And like I said in the review, we'll even talk about all the features and stuff, you know, further in depth. In the meantime, if you want to know more about this piano too, you can download the manual for free from Yamaha's website. So you're looking for the Yamaha DGX 660 manual. And they do have this in black, which this is, you know, 660B. They also have it in all white. I will say this, it looks god-awful ugly in white. I mean, it's just, ugh. But hey, if you're into white, knock yourself out. I like white guitars, but a piano, no, it's got to be more darker toned. Anyways, thanks guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.